Hey guys, thank you very much for coming back. It's Naresh here from My Producer Journey. So this is the second week of the vlog that I'm doing on my experience of going through the Mind Journal. As a reminder, this is a journal designed for us guys, really to get down what's in our minds and thoughts onto paper, and a kind of ramp into journaling every day. So you might remember from the first video, I have been journaling in the past, but not very successfully. I found keeping up the habit quite difficult and often not quite sure what to write in there. Yes, some say just do a brain dump, write whatever comes into your mind and splurge out onto the paper, but kind of left me feeling more confused and I guess questioning more than answering. So this has kind of helped in this respect. I'm in the second week, and I want to tell you a little bit more about, I guess, how I'm finding this useful, particularly for us guys in the music production, DJing, or just creative fields, and how journaling, or at least using something like this as a tool to get you into journaling, really helps. So I guess the first thing to say, this week's entry have been quite interesting to do. It's been a challenging week this week on personal relationships, where I felt that actually this has come in pretty much good use. Didn't expect it to be. It's not something I have as a habit yet to journal, but in the first 30 days there are exercises to do in here, and some of them are quite fun. Some of them make you introspect and think. And this week the fun one was actually thinking back to great times, fun times, and just thinking about them actually conjures up those good memories, those fun times. Makes you feel good, that sometimes in life we have these bad days, but we forget we've had those good days, and you kind of have to take the two together. For me, some of the days back in university were fantastic. The friends I've made from there are still around me today, and they become lifelong friends, all the way to coming to London, starting my first job in a corporate environment on a graduate program and developing up. And that's a long time ago now, but it's still there. And more recently getting married, and the happy days that led up to that and post getting married as well, I should say. But yeah, there's been some really good times, and they help balance out, I guess, the bad times. It makes you reflect, when you're feeling particularly down, you're not seeing the good, the positiveness in life. This retrospect look actually helps you balance that out a little bit, and I think that was quite useful as an exercise. One of the other exercises actually I found in here was a relationship map. Now I mentioned there, I've got a lengthy career in the corporate world, and one of the things I was taught, and I still manage today, are stakeholders. And just as important as we manage people within our own sort of music creative endeavors, that we work out who we need to keep close and who we need to concentrate on in the way that you need to get that response from them. And I think the relationship map exercise in here is quite important. It makes you think not only where people are in your world, in your sort of circle, if you like, but where you are as well. This is not a concept that I considered mostly at work, or we were thinking about other stakeholders, but we forget about the stakeholder within, the person that we are and where we fit into all of this. And I think this is another great entry, to think about all the others, but don't forget yourself. Remember that all of those people who are around you are also around you because of you as well. And this bi-directional relationships are there because of you. And I guess that's another point to kind of reflect back on some of those relationships. What else? I think this week I found just generally journaling quite very useful. Putting pen to paper plus thoughts. I did not think that you'd get much out of it. I was quite surprised in what actually came back. I've read that sometimes when journaling, it becomes a bit of a dialogue. You end up talking to, I guess, yourself in a way, and certain answers, certain voices, not without trying to sound going crazy, or you would go crazy, or people do this are crazy. Something inside you speaks to you. I can't describe it in any other way. You just have to start to put it into practice, and things start to reveal themselves. Sometimes it can be quite critical, I've got to say, but sometimes they are the voice of reasonings. I think they help, I guess, to take a step back, because once you put it on paper, you start to also probably objectively look at what you've written, think about what you've written, and whether your approach, the way you've perhaps done something that you feel bad about, or perhaps even feel good about, what was good about those times. It's something that reminds you why were those times so good, and how could you replicate them, or how could you make sure that if it was a bad time, then how would you avoid that the next time. And I guess that's the point of the book, of this journal, in that you better understand yourself. You start to go into areas of your past, your current, and to kind of define who you are going forward. I'm interested to see where this goes. There are 30 exercises, and I'm trying to get through 5 of them each week. And I've got a little tracker helping me do that, to stick to this goal that I have, is to complete this in this 3 months that it takes to do this, and see where I come out. And after the 30 exercises, there are blank pages that you start to then journal every day. Obviously, there's the check-in page in there that you can go to the website of themindjournal.com and see what that's about. But it's, the first part of that, it just helps you get into gear and where your mindset is, whether you start off happy or you start off sad or frustrated. It kind of sets the tone, but then it quickly brings you around. Despite you starting off bad, it then goes into asking you, well, what are you happy about? What are your achievements today? What are your intentions today? What are you grateful for? And one of the interesting things I find in here is your happy hour. It almost kind of forces you, pulls you out of you feeling negative, and gets you back into focusing on, right, well, what are you going to do? What are you grateful for? Really brings you back into the present. I think sometimes we live too much in the past and things have gone, and too much in the future of what it may be. But this helps you. Just the check-in page itself helps you bring you right back in here and now. And I've been doing this in the mornings, odd occasions spread out through the day. And it's interesting how, when you spread across the day, how you reflect back and on how you complete this. But if you do the check-in in the morning, it really sets you off. That this is what I need to do. This is why what I want to do them. And the happy hour is almost your kind of reward that I've done what I've intended to do. And my happy hour is spin some tunes, play on the synths, or just chill out, maybe play some computer games, so spend some time with the family, whatever you want to. But it's an hour that you've put there for yourself, and I think this is the whole concept here, that you are developing you are developing this self-respect and worth, and by giving yourself that time and putting that hour aside, dedicated for yourself, you start to reinforce that I'm doing this for me, and my self-care. And I think that mindset of doing that starts to build boundaries around who you are as a person. You know your limits, you know where you're outside your comfort zone, and you also know how to go back and take care of yourself. this is something that I guess, you know, not really taught in school. You kind of maybe learn along the way in life through trial and error. But you know, for us guys, and you know, if women, if you guys are listening, you know, this is, you know, equally as important to you as well as us guys. I know this is marketed for us guys, so you know, and it's probably because we put things in our head and don't come out with them. I'm one of those. I will mull through things in my space in this man cave of mine, and figure things out and then come out again. That's probably different to how women do it. I don't really need to talk to many people. I kind of work through and let time work itself out, and come to some point in my life and think, yeah, okay, I'm good with that. It's happened, and you know, move on. Equally, if it's a great time, then it's not something I need to sit in a cave for, or in the man cave. But you do reflect, and then makes you smile. But anyway, look, guys, to kind of stop waffling on now, I think week 2 really good. Enjoying doing this. I'm grateful for my wife for providing this as a Christmas present. I don't think she thought this journaling is what it is. I don't think, I mean, maybe that could be part 2 of this experiment. We'll get her to do it for 3 months and see what happens and get her thoughts. But for us guys, fantastic. And if you're a producer or anyone in a creative field, even outside of that, but based on my channel here, for us guys in music and music production, DJing, electronic music production, upping your capability and creativity and productivity, the Mind Journal. Have a look. £35 investment, can't go wrong, I don't think. Worth a try, worth a shot. But I'll leave you to you guys. Okay, guys, I will see you on the 3rd installment next week, and let's see where this goes. Okay, guys, take care. Like usual, click and subscribe and leave the comments. DM me if you've got any questions. You know, the usual stuff. See you next week.